Oh, shoot. Okay. Hey, everybody. It's your girl, Pajama, with Pajama Life. A little in mourning for our beloved Jayhawks right now. But we have our two fellas here. There they are. And we're here to talk about the Mandalorian and the Bad Batch. And we'll kind of recap the Oscars. So I can't do it by myself. I have my two brothers in arms here. And let's say hi to the guru of all things Star Wars. Say hey to the people, David.
Hey, everybody. Great to be with you on a, well, at this point, dark, but fairly mild Saturday night. Looking forward to talking to you.
I guess we will come back to David. And he will tell us what he is going to say. And so I'll turn it to the professor of all things Marvel and Tolkien. Say hey to the people, the doctor. Patrick.
That's right. Yes, I am channeling my doctor since the new one's coming up soon. Just got back from Kansas City's Comic-Con today.
Oh, we'll have to talk about that later.
It was not. I'm very unimpressed, but here we are. So glad to see everybody got great things to talk about. Not the Comic-Con, but we'll talk about all the great things. So here we are.
Well, this week's Mandalorian was something to behold and something to see. So let's check it out.
I am redeemed.
You see anything down there?
I saw the chasm passing me as I fell. I didn't realize it was so deep.
Did you see anything alive?
Alive? Like what?
Nothing.
But despite the shameful work of my past, I now hope to help the New Republic in whatever way I can. Though that work is now behind me and I regret what I did, I assure you that my original intentions were good.
I was just transferred from the Reintegration Institute.
Welcome to Amnesty Housing.
Doctor.
I didn't expect to see anyone from Moff Gideon's ship here.
Thanks to the rehabilitation program, I can contribute to the New Republic. Just like you.
All right, David. Back in action again. Tell us what you thought of this week's episode, The Convert.
You know, 2 out of the 3 episodes this far this season have left me wanting and with deep concerns. And this episode really kind of left me like, I'm not happy with the direction we're going.
What?
From a storytelling perspective, I thought there were some good things, but at its core, The Convert, which is a tale of 2 sides of conversion here, and we don't know where they're going. Conversion, not always a great thing with that. Really concerned here with the way the New Republic is being portrayed. It's a great segue into the sequel movies, which 2/3 of this program seem to be vehemently opposed to. 1/3, the leading member, and the prettiest of the members that likes it. But that's another story. I'm really concerned with where we're going. Why did we support the rebellion if they're going to go for this clockwork orange world and demilitarizing? Hey, kids, here's the thing. If you win a world war, build up your military so the good guys stay winning. And don't be stupid. Don't leave somebody in with like a brain tweezer machine and then just leave. That is a lack of internal controls. Surely to goodness, we would not have something like that here. Other than that, I thought there was a lot of neat things. I love to see more and more of Katie Sackhoff in this as Bo-Katan. That's great. I didn't mind having like the Mandalorian bookend this with a minor role, but I really did have a problem with the stupidity and the portrayal of the New Republic here. Don't think they were really worthy of the win. Not sure what we were fighting for. If this is what we're getting. So that's me. That's me.
Yeah. Okay. Patrick, what'd you think?
Yeah, I was disappointed. I guess for
too, I swear.
I mean, it seemed disjointed. The storyline itself seemed disjointed to me. I mean, it didn't seem to have a flow. You know, I didn't want to watch an outtake of Andor for the middle part of this, which is what it felt like. Which Andor was great because it was a good cohesive storyline, in beginning to end. You had straight line stuff, no time travel, which Pam would hate, which I think she'd love straight line type of stories where it goes A to B, B to C, C to D. Well, this one went A to 27 and 27 to 32, then back to C. I mean, it was just it didn't flow for me. And you're right, man. You know, it was a little bit of the we're going to take the Nazi rocket scientist and put him to work for us type of moment, and we're also going to leave someone who's really, you brought up a really good point, Dave, and I wondered this when I watched it too. I was like, who's going to leave a non-essential personnel in the control room with the brain scrambler switch, and it's just a switch or a dial that. Yep. I'm like, you don't have any sort of special. You don't have a key card to get it turned on. You don't have a code to turn it. Just grab the volume dial and crank it to 11. You know.
Yeah.
And I was just like, the fuck. I didn't know what I was just like. Well, this just seems like bad management. You know.
It's stupid writing.
Oh,
it's stupid writing.
It's
lazy. I don't know. Now, you alluded to Operation Paperclip, which is when we brought in the best of the Nazis we could find.
Yep.
We didn't put Von Braun in as a paperwork clerk. We didn't have him like painting signs. We had him building V2 rockets that took us to the moon. This would have been a lot smarter if somebody in the New Republic had said, you know what we need to ensure that we don't have a rise of an empire again is maybe a clone army and maybe some militant, fascist, but somewhat noble, wrong-headed guy bringing him in. What's up?
You need a paladin, a holy warrior who does only good and is automatically approved. That's what you need. Paladin.
Yeah, this was
Jedi's, in other words.
Operation Paperclip was much more effective than this. And thank goodness we brought the Nazis over to make our space program and didn't turn them into like, I don't know, kindergarten teachers or whatever. And
I was going to go with carrots.
Who's to say they weren't?
Some sort of vegetable. You know, an eggplant, maybe. I don't know.
The good ones worked at NASA. Some of the bad ones, probably the CIA, but we don't talk about that.
Okay, so I liked the episode. I thought that so I think you're getting the breadcrumbs of the First Order, maybe.
Right.
Which is the worst part of the trilogy. Thank you. Yes.
So I thought, and I was kind of like, okay, dude, don't you sense that she's evil and she don't like you at all? I was like, when she kind of set you up to get arrested by touching the rock thing, I was like, she's not your friend. And I was like, man, he been turned out for some biscuits.
Can't they get him biscuits?
For some biscuits.
Get him some biscuits.
Like, these crunchy cookies turned this poor fool out, and now he about ready to lose his good place. Because at each point, I was like, I don't like the way she looks at you. I don't like her energy at all.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, don't you realize when they're asking you questions that it's a polygraph or some kind of temperature gauge to see when they're asking you, do you hold any anger or resentment towards the government or the New Republic? And you have a long pause. Don't you think that might trigger something, fool? Right. I was like, this dude. And I thought it was kind of arrogance too, that, you know, how could they get rid of my work? So he was a mad scientist. He wasn't just a regular kind of science dude. He was a mad science. And look where it came from, where you got to do any kind of experimentation you wanted. That's why we have IRB in Human Subjects Protocol.
That's an institutional review board for you kids.
Yeah, institutional review board that checks to make sure that you don't have mad scientists out there doing experimentation on people. Because if you listen to what he was saying to the guy walking down the stairs, it was mad sciencey in its thing. So I was kind of like, well, you have no situational awareness, dude. She is a total villain. You can't even see it. So
could you tell that Dr. Pershing didn't get to go to the Imperial prom very much?
No, dude. And so
you get beat up by the TIE fighter pilots a lot, probably.
Oh yeah.
And so, when they showed her initially, like at the previously on, I was like, she looked like a whole villain then. So I'm like, that doesn't go away. So that's why I thought, okay, well, this guy. And then the end, I thought when they left her in the booth with the mind flayer weapon thing, I was like, couldn't it have like a cover that the dude like put over and locked and then left? I was like, the New Republic are awfully trusting. Like the whole time the people were like, oh, aren't you glad that you're here? We're so glad that you're here. We're da-da-da. And I was like, man, it's like a bunch of chickens with she's a fox and all those other Moff Gideon and other old villains are about to eat all those foxes up. So
it's called bad writing,
all those
Pam.
chickens.
Bad writing.
She felt bad. So but I was trying to think, is that it for him in The Mandalorian, or will he come back? That's what I was kind of wondering.
Yeah. Well, that's the question. Did they completely destroy his brain, or did they just make it pliable to like turn him into a bad guy and use his genius for pure evil?
Yeah, because remember, they're going to need somebody to create clones for Palpatine's body in the last movie. So it's got to still
We don't speak of that movie. We do not speak of that movie.
Yes, we do. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to the bad. Oh, I love it. I love it. Crimson Guards. I love it. Okay, so moving on to the Bad Batch. Puba. Let's check it out.
You didn't mention you cut ties with Sid.
Our mutually beneficial arrangement wasn't so beneficial. Mutually.
In that case, you all are coming with me. Head to these coordinates, Brown Eyes. Most of the villagers on Pabu are refugees. Many of the items I recover are remnants of their cultures, and that's worth preserving.
Pabu has been a safe haven for those forced to flee their homes during the war, and others after.
And you're not worried the Empire will show up?
Why would they? We're a remote island with limited resources. But if they do, we'll manage.
All right, another great trailer by our producer. And okay, Patrick, why don't you tell us what you thought of this week's episode?
Well, this was a nice little bit of it moves the story along. The Bad Batch is trying to find their own way. They're trying to get away from maybe doing questionable jobs for Sid. Mm-hmm. You see them moving along. You see Alpha trying to become a little bit more independent. I mean, it was nice. I mean, it was nothing spectacular, but it did move the story along. And, it was entertaining half an hour of TV.
Yeah, I thought so, too. I thought it was a nice, little sweet episode, too. And it really, I was like, ooh, look at Wanda coming on to Goggles. So I guess he's the one who's most popular. Sid kind of likes him. And now she kind of likes him. So All right, he must got some play. I thought it was funny when the record said, "Oh ho, you got a little competition there." But I thought it was an interesting take to maybe set them up to maybe stay here, or at least maybe leave Omega there so that she can grow up in a nice, regular environment. I don't think she wants that, so we would have to see what happens. But I thought it was a nice, sweet episode, better than some I've watched recently. So, what do you think, David?
I did enjoy it. I thought this was kind of we've seen a little bit of transition and character development in these episodes. It was a good, fun kind of standalone episode, but a little breadcrumbs as we see from maybe we've had some thoughts that Sid would be betraying them, that there would be some tension. That's been magnified in a few episodes. I think we're coming closer to that point where Rhea Perlman's character might turn into villain. We see kind of shades of gray, which is very Clone War-esque. I mean, some aspects of this show are kind of kid-like and a little goofy, but then they'll have a few things in there that that makes you, if it doesn't grab your interest fully, it says, is this for adults? Is this for kids?
Right.
Who's this for? Because I think it doesn't always know where it's going. Maybe it's trying to be all things to all people. But this was a fun episode. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, we watched some stuff when we were kids that was really questionable. And so, but really fun episode. Definitely. This one especially is one the whole family can watch and enjoy. So definitely check out Bad Batch. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the Oscars and the amazing triumph of Everything Everywhere All at Once. Oh, let's get into it. What did you think, Patrick, of the Oscars and Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Well, I've been singing its praises since I first saw it. I mean, I've been in its corner for quite a while. I mean, it's like I said, it was the best multiverse movie, and this is in the same year Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness came out, and I'm a big Marvel fan, and you would think that I would be leaning towards that, but this was clearly a superior movie. Wonderful thematic elements about family, and in the weirdest possible ways, which makes it all incredibly entertaining and arresting. Michelle Yeoh just totally killed it. Absolutely. I was, I mean, all the Oscars that I saw, I mean, they won everything I thought they should have won. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I have a bone to pick about.
Well, I can defend my bone on that one. I know which one to go with.
David, what you think of Everything Everywhere All at Once winning stuff?
Well, I thought it was so deserving, and I applaud the Academy for not going for something that is traditional,
right?
That's just kind of just static and very, this had a subtle charm and a humor and a bizarreness, and maybe after the COVID in the post-COVID thing, we needed that. Maybe that grabbed the Oscar people. That the performances were amazing. What a comeback for Short Round. And I say that with loving
Kwan.
My man did what a great job. And I got to tell you, I didn't recognize him as the kid, but I thought he was fantastic. Michelle was great. Big win. Did we lose Pam?
Maybe. We'll just keep going. Keep going. If we say whatever we want now, it'd be great.
If we were going to lose Pam, I'm glad we're seeing her in just this moment of pure bliss.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's just it's frozen, timeless beauty. There it is.
Pam, Mortal Kombat really sucks. The sequels are terrible. The sequels make the prequels look Oscar worthy. And they're
really absolutely good. Correct. I am totally with you on that one, David. They are absolute swirling in the toilet seat type of garbage. Yes.
Exactly.
Oh, well, okay. I missed that. Sorry.
No, it was nothing. It was nothing. Just go on.
But
he looked so happy And I think you were agreeing with us. Wasn't she agreeing with us, Pat?
She looked happy, like she was agreeing with us.
I call that consensus. Yes.
No. I thought Everything Everywhere All at Once, I thought that it was super great and different. And for it being a multiverse kind of story, I even enjoyed it and got what they were doing. And that was because of the performances of Michelle Yeoh and Kiwi Kwan. And I just thought it was fantastic. However, I do have a bone to pick about Jamie Lee Curtis, because I do not feel like that role should have earned the Oscar over Angela Bassett. I just really don't. I just thought her.
Well, if I were going to argue that, I would say it wouldn't even be an Angela Bassett should have been. I think the co-star, the daughter from Everything All at Once, was much better. Much better than any of them.
I loved her performance too, but I just felt like Angela Bassett's performance was amazing and just something that was memorable and poignant and painful. And I mean, she did it all. And so I understand now people always want you to be composed and to be, and plus, I mean, it would have been nice for a Black woman who's won an Oscar not to play a hooker, a down and out person, a maid, a mammy type, or some kind of negative stereotype. I mean, Angela Bassett was a queen all the way, portrayed that, and I was feeling her when she didn't stand up and apply. I was like, everybody can't be like all together all the time. Shoot, sometimes disappointment sets in. So that was the only one I was kind of like, Now, do I love Jamie Lee Curtis? Yes. Do I wish she had gotten it for something else? Yes. Do I feel like she was not this wasn't it? I do feel that way, but that's okay. But I thought it was great. I loved Kiwi Kwan in this.
I gotta tell you, I was really pulling for Judd Hirsch out of those. Man, I tell you what, he walked in and stole every bit of that movie.
Yeah, it was a trash movie.
20 minutes. Well, it doesn't matter. His performance was spectacular.
Yeah, what was it, like 5 minutes?
It wasn't a trash movie.
It was a trash movie.
It was about terrible things happening
and terrible people.
Well, okay, there are terrible people in the world.
Okay.
It was portrayed correctly, I think, and I thought it was. Steven Spielberg, I mean, has never made a bad movie.
Yes, he has.
1941.
Thank you.
Which one?
1941. About the History Channel did a much better version of that.
I have not rewatched that recently, and I'd have to rewatch it with fresh eyes.
Was that Lucas? Who did
it? It was Spielberg.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's Spielberg.
Yeah.
But okay.
I mean, you can have your opinion, and I'll have mine, and we'll just settle it that way. I mean, one person's taking hold of the thing, so she won. But
one thing I would say with regards to your comment, and I think it's very well taken. I would say in the larger context, when the award for Best Actress, I mean, there have been a lot of women who've had, I think there have been a lot of women who've had to play those kind of stereotypical roles, whether Madonna, whore, a lot of, which, and limiting, I think it speaks to how predominantly male writers would view a woman in a role. And so I don't think there's any question there have been challenges for women of color to break that door, but I think there have been some limits to the capacity or opportunities a lot of women have had in terms of showing talent outside of very stereotypical standard roles. That's something I hope we could see improve across the board as we go forward. On the other side, it was a night to honor federal employees. Yes. Just saying.
Well, and the one thing that was very interesting interesting that someone said about this year's acting winners was that they were all people who had been counted out of Hollywood. They were outsiders and had to struggle to come back, and that these performances were performances that, you know, kind of were their last shot kind of performances. And that's true of all of them. Michelle Yeoh, she wasn't getting, you know, what she should have gotten. Definitely Jamie Lee Curtis, definitely Brendan Fraser, definitely Kiwon Kwan. So when you see that and you hear that, it's like, oh, okay, so this was the year of, you know, each year you could kind of see the theme of where they're going with the movie selections and with the who's gonna win. And this year was kind of like the outsiders, the comeback stories. And it was so many like touching moments, like Kiwi Kwan and Harrison Ford. That was really sweet and wonderful. Brendan Fraser's speech, that was incredible. And the Encino Man triumph story of Brendan Fraser and Kiwi Kwan, two goofballs from Encino. Now, Oscar winner Brendan Fraser and Oscar winner Kiwi Kwan. I just thought that was awesome. Any other kind of special? Oh, but let me say hello to our friends at the Super Powered Dare Die team. Hi, fellas. Woo! And your girl and Pajama Life are now international. I just did a show with our friends, the Super Powered Dare Die team, and we reviewed Equilibrium as well as a Sente something ogre something. I don't. It was
very memorable though.
Yeah, it's a kid show, a Japanese kid show that we reviewed. So take a look at the Superpower Dare Die team, and you'll see your girl, International Pajama Life. We're now international, and saying hello to our buddy Electric Melanin is back. Hello. Okay. Now, any other stories on the Oscars that you guys felt were really interesting, touching, or stupid? Oh, I have one more. Ruth Carter, first Black woman to win 2 Oscars for costume design. Well deserved, both of them. And I think it might be also a first that someone's won for sequel. I mean, like a sequel movie too, because Black Panther and Wakanda Forever she won for. So I'm proud of that. I figure, and I think it was would have been her mother's 101st birthday. So that is really incredible as well. So, okay, fellas, take it away. Any other points on the Oscars?
I was glad to see All's Quiet on the Western Front win for Best Foreign Film.
You know, that was still.
I was glad they won Best Foreign.
An amazing movie. The soundtrack. You know, when they won, because me and my wife were talking about when we were watching it, and how I could remember the soundtrack because it really fit the movie. That plotting. Yeah. Off-key thing, which was the whole feel of the movie. I mean, wonderful, you know, perfect, you know, win for that. And I mean, it was still a very gripping movie. I mean, even though it was in German.
Yeah. I kind of wish that The Quiet Girl had won for international film. And I really love that movie. That and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, even though that wasn't nominated for international. But I was hoping that that would win because I like the story better. But I get it. The war movie usually wins something. So I'm glad it got that instead of Best Picture. And what did you guys think that Tom Cruise didn't win for Top Gun Maverick?
I could count on one hand all the craps I gave about Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I was okay with that.
Crocodile tears.
That would have been an upset of the upset if Top Gun would have won.
Oh, it
That
would have.
been
Yeah, it would have. I was rooting for it though. I think that was last show. I was my big stump speech was for that. Glad to know the Academy listens and takes my words so seriously and thoughtfully.
Yeah, so sorry, Tom Cruise. He'll get one of those humanitarian, or like they gave Tyler Perry. They give him like he'll be one of those who'll get one of the governor's award,
Lifetime Achievement Award, or
Lifetime
whatever.
Achievement.
You know, I don't think he's achieved much, but keep going. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he has.
He's been in a lot of movies.
For his movies, and people love Tom Cruise all over the world. I remember working with a young man back in college who was from Iran, I think, and he wanted to come to America and wanted to be like Tom Cruise. That's what his influence on the world is more powerful than what we anticipate. I mean, I remember guys in the 90s wearing those aviator shades, wearing the bomber jacket, starting the military got some of probably his highest recruits because of him. I mean, so there's a place for Tom Cruise's impact on the cinema and the pop culture. So, someday I was mad when he didn't get it for Magnolia back the few years ago. That's when he should have won his Oscar. But I'm sure at some point he'll get an Oscar for something. They'll give it to him. So, everybody's time comes around eventually. So we'll see. You never know. He could get some dumb movie like they always do. And,
his greatest moment was in Tropic Thunder. So there we go. Moving on.
I mean, what's his name?
What I said. There it is. Yes.
Well, like Whoopi Goldberg should have won for The Long Walk Home, but then she ended up getting it for Ghost. So, it never matches at the time. This is the first year. Purple. Yeah, or The Color Purple. She should have won then. I thought even her performance in The Long Walk Home, if you haven't seen it, it's beautiful. Was amazing, and she should have won then. So we'll see. But definitely had a good time. Any final words about the Oscars? If not, Patrick went to Kansas City Comic-Con.
I did.
Tell us a little bit. I haven't ever been to a Comic-Con, so share what happened.
Well, I got to tell you, this is probably my last Comic-Con because don't be sad. It wasn't even controlled chaos. It felt like just straight up chaos.
Really?
Me and my daughter arrived at about 9 to 10, sometime about 10 o'clock when we got there. So okay, we go up, we get our armbands, we show up, and we go, okay, look, I want to get a signature from Jonathan Frakes. So I'm like, cool. So let's so we just walk through the hall and we're looking at the stuff and neat stuff. Oh, neat stuff, but it's getting crowded. I mean, it's Bartle Hall, for those of you not from Kansas City, is a god awful huge event space. And they rent the entirety of Bartle Hall for this. And I mean, it is wall to wall. And when it starts filling up, it is literally, I mean, I don't know how many people they can get in there, but it was upward of 2,000 people, 3,000 people inside this damn place. So, of course, I've been, like everybody, locked down for a couple years now. Crowds are not as comfortable as they once were. And this was super crowded. So I go over and get in line for Jonathan Frakes. I got a pretty good line. I want to pay my $60, get him sign a picture. It's going to be great. So it's going real slow, which is fine. I mean, he's talking to people. That's also cool. I see Brent Spiner. I see, Jonathan Frakes. I see Shatner over here. They're all signing the autographs, for anywhere from $60 for for Spiner and Frakes to 120 for Shatner. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm waiting in line. And then he's like, the three of them got to go over and they got to do these photo ops that people buy. You buy a photo op with the three of them, professional photo, and it's a god awful amount of money to have the three of them stand next to you for 10 seconds, so they can snap you a picture. Off you go. $300 later, you're out. Whatever. So I'm like, so they said they'll be back in 45 minutes. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to lose my place in line. I've already committed an hour to standing in this line, but I'm literally an hour in this by this point. And I'm like, well, okay, well, I'm not going to give up my spot. Nope, forget it. It says it'll be back at 12:15, 45 minutes. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just stand here in line. So I stand there, 12:15 shows up, 12:30 shows up, and I'm like, where the hell is he? And then they say, and then it gets up like 12:45, and he's still not showing up. And I'm like, finally somebody from the convention shows up and says, he has a panel at 1 o'clock, so he'll be returning at 2 o'clock, 2:05. And I'm like, I am not standing here. I'm like, screw it. I get it. I'm like, I'm done. Kiss my butt. I'm done. So I walked out, didn't get a signature. I got some t-shirts, got me a cool new Dr. Hugh t-shirt, which I will.
Yeah. Did you get a picture with the lady?
She canceled. Another reason why I'm like done.
Oh, Alex Kingston canceled?
Yeah.
Oh, too bad.
The person I was going to see, my wife was going to see. Sherry was like, she was experiencing JOMO today. The joy of missing out is what she said. So she enjoyed that because she did not. She was not going to go unless Alex Kingston was there. When she canceled, she's like, "Screw it." So my daughter went with me. Terrible line. And Heather's a trooper. She's waiting with me, and so we bought some T-shirts. We looked at some stuff, but I'm not paying $50-something again to walk in there to spend money and not be even able to spend the money because these people tell me. So you know what? 10 out of 10 would not recommend at this point.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry about that.
Nope.
Oh, well.
But there was a lot of neat stuff. I saw a lot of neat stuff. Tons of cool cosplay going on.
Yeah.
But you couldn't take pictures with them because there's so many people that you couldn't even get a clear spot to take a picture. That's how full Bartle Hall was.
Wow.
These guys were printing money.
So was it the first time that they have it since the pandemic? I mean, like fully
they had one last year, but I didn't go because there's nobody I really wanted to see last year. I wouldn't have bought tickets this year except for Alex Kingston, and then Alex Kingston's canceled. This is the second time I've been involved with Comic-Con that she has canceled. So maybe she's already pre-canceled for the next 2 years. I don't know.
Maybe you go out to LA.
I am not
going
going
up on one of the sets.
That's true. Hard pass. You know what? I'm too old to stand in line for 5 hours.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that was not a good time. It was terrible. Anybody watching this, you can put this on Planet Comic Con. They can try to refute that. I defy you. Bring it.
Okay.
All right.
Well, sorry to hear that.
But it was neat. Like I said, there's a lot of neat stuff. I would have had a better time if I hadn't spent so much time standing in Jonathan's breaks line to have him ghost us, and then I'll be back in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Deuces.
Yeah.
He didn't even have the courtesy to come out and say deuces, and they didn't even. It would have been. I would have probably been okay with it if they'd said, "Okay, we're going to take your numbers in line right now, and you guys can go away. Come back at 2. If you're number 27, I'll put you in 27."
That would have been.
But they didn't do that. They're like, "You can keep waiting if you want to. He'll be back around 2:05," and I'm like,
"It's the lack of logistical customer service that I've seen at these conventions." I went to the second Star Wars celebration in Indianapolis in 2002, and I was horrified at the lack of organization that I saw there.
Yeah.
Did not have. I mean, I do a lot of conferences. I speak at a lot of events, and with 2,000 people, and some of them have dressed in some pretty crazy costumes as well. And let me tell you, a little bizarre out there. Some of the things. Do any convention in Las Vegas, and you will find some really unique individuals. But customer service, logistics, some of these, the Hollywood side of things, man, I don't think they know what they're doing, and that is disappointing.
Well, I think what happens is they need to get it, or people from Disney to come and organize it so that they've got it down pat. You get your number, you stand in line, they snake you through the line so you can't really tell how long it is.
They are horrifyingly efficient.
Yeah, and so, having somebody at these conferences who's in charge of people management, hey, that could be my new Comic-Con. I'll do it if I could get a picture with every single celebrity and go to the after show and dinner and a salary. I'll do event management.
Well, the thing is, they put out these. When you go to the site to buy the tickets, there's a volunteer section because 95% of the people working these conventions are volunteers. You get a free ticket for doing it. So you've got a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing. They show up the day of and they're like, you want me to go row 27? Where the hell's that? And you want me to do what there? Okay, I guess. And then you have the 5 people on the floor maybe walking around who actually are paid employees. Probably they're probably only employed for like maybe 2 months in order to just finish finalizing stuff and get some stuff organized. So you got 5 to 10 employees trying to manage 60,000 people, and I've been lost.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, our buddy from Superpower Dare Die Team, the trailer review we looked at was Osama Sentai King Ogre, and it got almost 2,000 views since it came out.
All right.
So check us out on that trailer review. We're gonna have to do something. If it's getting that many reviews, we need to do some trailer reviews. Well, I think that takes us to the end of our time today. So, any final words, fellas?
Some really fun things on streaming, everybody. Keep watching season 3 of Picard, maybe the best thing that we've not talked about yet.
Yeah.
And Poker Face. If
yes,
you like Columbo,
I just finished.
Oh my goodness. That is a fun show. So
once again, Rhea Perlman gets another gig. She's crushing it this year. Yup. Definitely. Poker Face. We're gonna put that on the put that on the schedule because that is really enjoyable. I'm surprised from you, David, seeing how it's Ryan Johnson, that you like something from me.
Well, once again, where he's good is where he rips off someone else.
Oh.
He's just redone Columbo. Even you can call it an homage, but when you're using the font and the coloring of the font, it's not an homage. He is plagiarizing Columbo with a woman.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's awesome. And how about you, Patrick?
I am currently starting into and finishing the Last of Us, which Pedro Pascal, who is just a treasure. And tomorrow I'm going to go try out Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
Oh, okay. I'm
and of course we have new season of Doctor Who coming up soon, which we should definitely put on this for all you people out there watching who are into this. Smack those like buttons, smack those up thumbs. Let's get ourselves in there so we can do some Doctor Who, so we can get some real nerd stuff on here.
All right. If we get 500 likes, I will review Doctor Who weekly. How about that?
500 likes,
100 likes, 100 subscribers. Doctor Who will be on the schedule. How about that? So that's a challenge for all you Doctor Whoians.
I can make 100 emails. It ain't that big a deal.
Yeah. And we'll watch it. So definitely watch the NCAA tournament. I will no longer be watching after that. Heartbreaking.
K-State's still in it at least, though. I mean,
well,
it's better than MU. I mean, come on.
So definitely check that out and come check us out next week on Pajama Live. Take care.